Now that we've constructed our cardboard loom, let's make a weaving with it. Again, this is reusable. We can make 100 weavings until it pretty much disintegrates. So we're going to need thread, our cardboard loom, a needle. We can use a popsicle stick too, some scissors, and yeah, here we go. So each thread needs to be cut out. I would say maybe 3 times your forearms. You don't want to make it too long, but you don't want to make it too short. So let's thread the needle. Threading yarn into a needle is difficult, but we get it every time. If you're having trouble threading the needle, you can tape the edge, and that helps a little bit. So for weaving, this is a repetitive pattern that goes over, under, over, under. So I'm going to start going under, over, under, over, under, over, so on and so forth. You can see my needle like that. And we'll push it through and make sure we go under this last one. And then we want to pull the thread all the way through to the end, so there's just one little tag hanging off like that. So then, for the next row, we want to go over, under, so on and so forth. When you're starting out, it's good to start slow, compare, look, make sure you're doing opposites. So these ones are under and over. We can pull that through. And now one of the biggest problems with making our own handheld looms is pulling this thread too tight at the beginning. It's going to warp our edges. We want to keep this thread on the edge loose, but not too tight, but looser the better. So there we go, back and forth, and yeah, weaving is a meditation. It's repetitive motions. You get the hang of it after your 3rd or 4th row, and you can do this while you're watching TV, listening to a friend. You can take your cardboard loom with you anywhere. And then starting a new color is as easy as starting the first one. We just want to make sure we're following the pattern of the color that came before it. So doing the opposite of that pattern, we can see I'm going over and then under, over and under, doing the opposite of the pattern of this burnt orange pattern. And this is where being mindful and going slow helps, because, look at that. I messed up. I went over twice in a row. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that while I still can. If you notice these patterns high up, it'll be okay if you mess up once or twice. But while we can, we want to correct our mistakes so it all works out evenly. Okay, now here is the end. We want to go ahead and weave all of the pieces, the strands that we left out. We want to weave them in. So I'm going to fast forward this super fast because I already showed you. Okay, and here's our weaving. Is it cute? No, maybe. Just go ahead and scrunch it together, and then we're going to cut these strings off. I would suggest doing it one by one if you can. We're just going to make a double knot with each thread. So we'll tie them together like this. Don't tie them like aggressively super tight. You want to try to keep the form of the weaving that you're making. So cut these threads as close as you can to the top. And yeah, before I started this, I kind of pushed my weaving down a little bit, give myself some room to work with this thread. So there's the first 2, so exciting. I've made an even number of notches in my weaving. I didn't know. There's really no mistakes in art. There's just opportunities to problem solve. So what I'm going to do is combine the last two threads, and I'm going to tie a double knot using 3 threads, and that worked out great, and we'll do the same for the next side. So we have a little bit more room to work with on the next side. We can kind of pull these out and tie them this way. Just have to make sure you keep your scissors close by so we can cut these little loops we've created so we can tie them off together. And again, I'm tying these threads, double knotting them 2 pieces together, except for that third one, we're going to double up and tie 3 together. And then there you have it. Once you're done with all these knots, you have successfully completed a weaving. It is pretty sturdy. It's not indestructible, but look at that.